And we're back. Hello, sir. How are you?
Another week down. What's happening?
Another week down, another uh potential disaster. Um, a lot going on. I'm actually writing um I'm writing a essay called Why I'm Sitting Out the Eclipse, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But you live in New Jersey, I live in New Jersey, and New Jersey had a earthquake on Friday, a
Yep.
4.8 earthquake.
Who
And
would have thought?
right, and there's been, I saw in the news 30 aftershocks at this point, or
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
lost track, but I know there was at least 10 to 12 in the first day alone. And we felt a couple, but none of the little ones.
Right. Yeah, yeah, it was shocking. I was on a call, I was telling you, and I ran out of the house. I thought there was a gas line explosion. I thought it was a slow-moving explosion, and we got out of Dodge. I did not take any chances.
That
So
was
I
smart.
left
You
the
did the right thing.
client, my client hanging on the line, and I ran out of the house.
Was your client in New Jersey? Like, did they understand what was happening?
No, no, they had no
Uh,
idea. They did send me the gentleman that is the head guy, the boss. He sent me like 10 minutes later, the meeting pretty much ended. I think it was at like 10:23, so it ended at like 10:30, and he sent me a meme already of the earthquake. So I had only just seen that it was confirmed that it was an earthquake, but he sent me like a meme of like people going crazy. They were really upset that I was not on camera. They really wanted to see me run out on camera. So that was the complaint. And the meeting kept going. I didn't wasn't even really needed. I was running the meeting. I ran out and came back, and apparently nobody even really
It's good
missed
to
it.
know work life can go on without
Yeah.
Jason Messina.
It is good to know. But I was in the I that's not the biggest earthquake I've been in. I was in the big one in 1993.
And
Is that
not New
true?
Jersey, right?
In
California.
California, an hour and a half from San Francisco. Um, and I was there and we were watching, the news was on. I was doing the my homework at the kitchen table and it started shaking. And I thought my little brother was shaking the table. And I looked over, there was nobody there. And the painting on the wall looked like it was about to fly off. And I
Hmm.
didn't know what was going on. And then the guy on, it was some rinky-dink news station. He had blinds behind him, and they were moving.
Rattling.
I can still picture it. And he just looks at the camera and he says, "I think we're having an earthquake, and I don't like earthquakes." And my mom, she's screaming. She grabs my little brother, Jason, get out of the house. And then I duck under the table because that we would huddle under our desk.
That's what they teach you to do, right?
Yeah, we would huddle under our desks at school during the earthquake drill. Um, so yeah, that's what's happening. But everybody is, even a 4.8 earthquake, and I was only 30 miles from the epicenter now.
Right.
So we really felt it. But even that is not enough to distract people from the craziness that is the path of totality. Uh, I gotta tell you, I'm sitting the solar eclipse. I'm sitting the eclipse, whatever kind of eclipse it is, I'm sitting it out. I I gotta tell you, I am not interested in the eclipse in the least. You can burn your retina, you can burn your eyeballs out from looking at it. And
Hmm.
I, and first of all, they're saying this is oh, once in a lifetime experience. There was just an eclipse that I almost burned my retinas out. How long ago was that? 5 years, 6 years ago,
Yeah, it
maybe
was within
seven?
the last 10, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, and I remember we were outside and everybody's got these sheets and they're looking up, and
Yep.
I took a sheet and I looked up and I saw it. And I got to tell you, I don't even remember what I saw. My eyes started hurting from the minute I looked at it. I put the sheet down, I walked away, and I remembered in my head, they said, you got to make sure that you have legitimate protection.
Yep.
It can't just be
They got to be
off
rated
Amazon.
properly. Yep.
Right. Well, who knows? Who knows? And I looked at the guy that had it and I said, this guy doesn't have, he definitely does not have rated protection. I don't even know where he got it
He's
from.
judging the book by the
It
cover, like,
was like
nah, you, sir. No,
it was
no.
cellophane, and my eyes started hurting. And I remember, I went on a small plane ride one time. This is the same level of panic. There was a guy I worked with in a restaurant, and he said, "Oh, I'm a pilot. I'm training to be a flight instructor. You want to ever go up on one of these little planes?" And at the time, I wanted to get as many experiences as as I could. I said, "Yeah, I want to go on one of these little planes." And I remember, first of all, the first time we go, the battery doesn't start. And I'm like, he's like, "Oh, we'll just jump it." I go, "Well, what if the battery dies again when we're in the air?" "Oh, then we'll just glide down." "Oh, okay. Oh, okay." I said, "I don't want to go on this plane. Let's find another plane." So we go some other day, we get a plane and we're get up in the air. And if you're ever in one of these little planes, they never are stable. Like there's
Right.
not a moment where you're just like
Smooth
like
sailing.
right. It's not like a regular jet where you're just cruising. It's constantly, and there's a window. The window can open and you've got a screen door. There's nothing between you and the universe. And I just remember being up there like really high, not feeling stable, and thinking to myself, this guy can't even get the appetizers to come out before the main entrees. Like literally, he had a problem. He could not time it, and it was very easy to do. There's a delay button, and it was very easy to do. He could never do that, and I'm like, my life is in this guy's hands, and like there was a level of panic. I just wanted to get out of there, and I couldn't. There was nothing I could do, and so I had that same level of panic after I handed the protective eye covering that probably was purchased in Chinatown. I got that same level of panic that this was a ripoff eye protection.
Very well could have been.
And so I called my eye doctor and I said, I think I've hurt my eyes. And to make
You
matters
were one of
worse,
those statistics from that.
make matters worse, I don't remember his name, but there was a rapper, not a well-known rapper, but it was like in the New York Post, like the cover of the New York Post. He burnt his eyes out. He had
Wow,
permanent eye damage
that's
from
terrible.
staring at it without any protection. So now I'm freaking out that I've done major damage. I go to the eye doctor, who's a family friend, and he says to me, he says, we were actually trying to figure out how long it would take to to have like permanent
To
damage.
do permanent.
He says, I think you'd have to like look at it for 6 or 7 minutes. He doesn't know that for sure. So please, no
That's
one
actually a long time, but yeah,
do.
let's
But
not test this
it's
theory.
his point was just glancing at it, which is basically what I did. I kind of looked up and was like, oh, okay. And that was all I did. And I don't think that's enough time, but still in my head. And I said, listen, I said, don't you ever tell anybody that I was here. I don't want you to ever. He
Too
goes, I
late.
think you're just nuts. He goes, and you're not the first person that's been here. There's been other people that have been
Oh
here
yeah.
with the same complaint. He goes, you're all just nuts. So I left and I said, now everybody wants to see the eclipse. I saw it. There's nothing to look at. Couldn't even tell you what it was. It's not that big of a deal. It's not worth losing. It's not worth putting your eyesight that you have two eyes for the rest of your
Hmm.
life. It is not worth it.
Why
And
risk it?
why risk it? There's nothing to see. It's
NASA
not a
will
big
air
deal.
it. People will take
Everybody's
photos
going to
on their
air it. You're going to
phones and
look at it.
share
Right.
it.
You're going to look at it and say, oh, that's it. And let me tell you, when I was a kid, Halley's Comet. Oh, you got to see Halley's Comet. It's not coming back for another 72 years. And I remember my mom and we looked out the window and we saw Halley's Comet. I said, oh my God, 72 years. I go, will you watch Halley's Comet with me 72 years from now? And my mom looked at me. She's probably in I think she was probably in like her mid 20s. She goes, or maybe 30. She goes, I'm not going to be around 72 years. And I'm crying. Oh my
Right.
God.
Harsh
And I tell you
reality.
what, I got to tell you, I saw Haley's Comet, did not change my life in the least. If I had not seen it, my life would be no different. There's no difference between me, Jason, who saw Haley's Comet and cried because his mom might not be around in 72 years. Listen, she's in pretty good shape. She's probably going to be around. She'll probably be around for it. But regardless, there's nothing to see. My life is no different from looking at Haley's Comet.
So
It's no
you've learned
different.
your lesson. You're sitting it
Yeah,
out, and it
I'm
sounds like if you want to see it, you could Google it right
I'm
now.
sitting it out. I'm sitting it out. And I got to tell you, I saw the here, let's see. Can you see this? This is great. I saw this Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about earthquakes and the eclipse. God is sending America strong signs to tell us to repent.
Oh boy.
Earthquakes and eclipses and many more things to come. I pray that our country listens. And then this is great. Readers add context. There are approximately 1,700
Yeah.
earthquakes in the US every year,
Yeah.
about 4 a day. Solar eclipses occur approximately every 18 months and are able to be predicted well in advance. So that is what I thought. I said, she's saying this is a sign, but like
It's
everyone knew there
science.
was going to be like
Right.
people 40 years ago knew that this eclipse was going to happen. This didn't
Right.
just happen. God did just not come out and create an eclipse to warn us. It was you could predict it hundreds of years ago if you knew the math. Oh,
Yeah.
anyway, so I thought that
That's
was
hilarious.
insane. And the other thing is Friday, while all this earthquake stuff was going on, I was getting ready to see Ancient Aliens, Ancient Aliens live, and it's the
Nice.
I don't even know the guy's name. I'm not that big of a fan. I think the ideas. Have you watched this show?
I haven't. I've heard about it though.
The gist of it, and this guy's very smart because he took everybody's into UFOs and aliens, but he took a niche, ancient aliens, not just an alien that shows up today. It's an ancient aliens he believes helped to build the pyramids and some other things.
It's one
And
of the big theories. Yeah.
right, because they don't know how these things were built. And he kept saying something interesting. He kept saying these are the smoking guns of ancient astronauts. And he's an interesting guy. He tells interesting stories. They're interesting ideas, but that's all they are. There's no evidence. Just
Right.
because
You
you don't
can't
know,
actually back it up.
right, just because you don't know how the pyramids were built doesn't like that doesn't mean that automatically
Right.
mean that aliens made it.
Right.
And so he had a lot of these ideas. There was like a sculpture that he's like, this is not a frog, this is not a butterfly, this is an airplane. It's an airplane. These people were making sculptures of airplanes, little pins. I bought one. I bought a pin. But again, even so, that doesn't mean that and we even made and it flies. And so the problem is this is a big, big problem. People take some physical evidence and they lay an opinion on top of it when there is no, but that's not, you can't do that. How can you do that?
Well, you can.
You
It's
shouldn't. You
unfortunately,
shouldn't.
you're right. You're misleading people because there are people out there who cling to that idea.
Right. It's okay to say, listen, this is a possibility, this is a theory,
Right.
but to sit there and this guy, he believes it, but you can't say that it's the truth. You don't know it's the truth. And I think really that would solve a tremendous amount of problems if people would just say, you know what, it's what I think. I don't know for sure. If
Mhm.
people would just say, I don't know for sure more often, I think we'd
There's
have a
the
lot less problems.
in my opinion, right? That's a key phrase.
Yeah, even just you don't even have to keep saying, in my opinion, just don't act like you know the truth. And um, I have another dear friend. We're bantering back. I had to cut it off. I wrote him a 1,000-word text this morning. He's trying to convince me about religion, and I said, listen, I don't know. I mean, you might be right. I don't think you know either. for sure. I don't think anybody knows this stuff.
Nobody knows for
You
sure.
can't tell me you know.
This far from, far removed from when all
Right.
those
You
things
don't
may
know
have
what
happened.
really, right. You don't know what really happened. You don't know, uh, you don't know how any of this got here. We just know what we're stuck with. And I think that's important. Listen, and it's a story. There's stories I've come as I got older. They have some usefulness. They might be useful, but you can't sit on it like it's the truth. So, anyway, let's forget about all of that. I don't even want to talk about any of that because that's all
No
nonsense.
more. The world is ending talk.
But people need to be prepared, and they need to be prepared. Listen, it's fine. You're at home. There's an explosion, an earthquake. You've got your stuff at home. But what about when you're in a car? That's what I'm trying to think out in my
Hmm.
head. What do I need when I'm in a car? And BriBo, I think you've answered that question. I think you've answered it.
I'm trying. I'm gonna try.
Well, listen, if you're unsuccessful, I think that is a sign from God that the universe is ending. So, without further ado, we're gonna go to the tape. We've got some
Yeah.
pre-recorded. This is
I
monumental,
I wanted to surprise you with some of this. So yeah, for
beautiful.
everyone out there, Jason has not seen any of this. I just uploaded these for him. We mentioned a few weeks ago being prepared, the glass cutter, the hammer, right? We
Right.
we talked about having that, and that's what sparked this whole obsession of what is it that we keep in our cars? What should we keep in our cars?
Can yeah, can
Yeah,
I
let's do
hold
it.
on before we jump into this. BriBo, I did a little research. They basically said don't get your car submerged. Once you're in the water, you do not have much time to get out of that car. Do
Hmm.
you agree
I
with that?
agree. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
like you either have a window open, have a door open,
right. And they said
or
some of these
you're going
windows,
down fast.
some of these some of these there's some sort of coating on these newer windows that
Make it even harder.
you wouldn't even be able tempered glass maybe you wouldn't even be able to break it, they said, without a
Yeah,
lot of
I
effort.
think yeah, I do think it's a lot of effort, but so you'll see one of the ones we own in this in one of these videos. Um the one that we have in my wife's car is like a spring-loaded one. So it actually
Okay.
has strong force without you needing to use the force.
Okay.
Um
All
yeah,
right.
like we won't know if they ever work unless we
Yeah, I
need
hope
them,
not.
and we
I
hope
hope
we
not.
never need them.
Yes.
So yeah, let's
All right,
start with this first one. I'm
let's
curious
jump
to
in.
hear
Jason,
your
you asked
reaction.
me what I keep in my car. I told you quite a bit.
Oops.
Uh, it's kind of a running joke with a lot of my friends, but I do have quite a bit in my car. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of my truck, show you what I got. You might be surprised, maybe you won't be, maybe you'll be inspired to get some of these items. Uh, Love to hear your thoughts. Let's check it out.
Oh, wait.
All right,
Oh,
so Jason, you
Jump to
asked
the
me
next one.
what I keep in my car.
all right, that was a good intro. I'll jump to the um,
So this is really setting it up.
All right, starting on the door. I've got 7 cup holders in the front seat. No, I'm not
7.
a murderer, but I do
what?
keep wire ties. Multiple sizes, good for lots of things.
All right, wire
Always gotta keep a
ties.
pair of
Wait,
cutters.
whoa. Wait a minute. 7 cup holders? Where did that come from? What are you
I
talking about?
You'll see as we go through. So the
All right.
door, each door in the front, for whatever reason, this truck had. In fact, I say 7. It's technically 9 in the front seat. So this is a
Okay.
2-seater, but there's 2 cup holders on each door, two, technically 3 in the center area, and then 2 behind the center console.
Wow.
God knows why you need so many cup holders,
I like it.
but they come in handy to store stuff.
Let's
I
move
like
to the
it.
other cup holders. So
Oh
I
my
got a
God.
big guy here, great for the big mugs.
Large cup holder.
Whoa.
Some post-pandemic hand sanitizer,
Okay. I like that.
mask. Keep a lot of
Good.
items in here. So you got your normal charging wires, which I'm sure many of you do. Phone holder.
So hold on. I'm going to stop
I've
you right
got
there.
breath mints.
That phone holder, um, I want you to contemplate that. You get into an accident, that phone holder is gonna throw that phone right through your brain. I
Meh.
want you to think about that. That is not a safe place to have that phone.
Have they proven that one?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's not.
Uh,
It's not. It's not in line with me. I appreciate your concern, but actually, this thing falls like straight down more often than not. So
okay. You're using that for GPS. You need a
yeah,
Apple
that's
CarPlay, whatever.
really the only reason
So
is
I've
to have it
got
in front of me.
floss. I've
All right.
got
Uh, anything else you want to say about the car?
No,
Any
no,
final
you got
thought?
to start seeing all the goodies
All
here.
right.
just in case a bottle opener or a corkscrew,
Okay.
comb for my hair,
Comb.
separate
don't need that.
USB charger, a lighter. You never
Okay.
know how many times I've needed that in hotels
Really?
with candles and whatnot. I
Candles.
keep Excedrin in here, I keep Advil in here, a pen, a marker, and a mini screwdriver. One of my favorite things.
I want to know
which
if you know what this
really
is.
don't need very much anymore.
Well,
If anyone knows what this is, I'll be quite impressed.
need another look. Uh,
You got to go back. I mean,
I don't know what it is.
this is not
Ideally
something most people
meant
will
for
use.
opening up CD packages.
Oh my
It
God.
releases a sharp little point
What?
as you run across
CD
the top.
Slide it
packages.
across the
Great
top
back
of
in
the
the day,
CD
getting
and rips the
CDs.
plastic open for you.
All right, starting on the door.
What?
So yeah, that's an oldie but goodie. Like I've been
All
carrying
right.
it forward car to car to car. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually used the damn thing, but where else do I keep it? I mean, I used to buy
All
my
right.
CDs and want to listen to them, so that was a good thing. So yeah, a lot
Well,
of mix and match in the middle there.
all right. The only thing that gives me pause is
All right, moving on.
That phone holder.
the thing that gives me pause is the I think you should have a lighter in the car. I think it's good to have that. I have one. I've never used it other than when I was back in the day when I was smoking cigarettes, but what gives me pause is lighting candles in a hotel
I
room.
was
That
wondering if you
seems
were gonna say
Yeah,
something.
that seems very like
It,
risky behavior.
it's not a routine thing, and actually, I
Okay.
probably used the lighter more camping or at friends' parties and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, that required a stern warning from my on my part.
Change dish. I've got parking pass for property out in the Poconos. I've got some coupons to get across the bridge. I keep nail clippers. I've got tweezers. I've got change. More single-use hand sanitizer.
lots
Yeah.
of hand sanitizer from the pandemic.
Wha-
So
that's a lot of
change
change
dish.
there. Quite
There's
a
not
bit
a
of
whole lot in
change.
there. It's not as much as you think. Like there's a light. The car lighter is in there. I got like a lock for
You
the
have
lug
Easy Pass
nuts.
though, right?
Easy Pass is up in the
Okay.
window. Yep,
Just want to make sure.
it's an important one.
Some people don't have Easy Pass because they don't want to be tracked by the government.
Don't worry,
We were
Oh.
just talking about that with my brother. My mom brought it up today, and I was laughing about it. I'm like, listen, they're gonna find you anyway. In
I
fact,
mean,
not to derail us, but if you start looking, I guarantee in your town you may find one because I'm seeing them in a lot of New Jersey towns now. A lot of the main throughways to the town, there's a black pole with
mhm.
a oval shaped object and a solar panel. Those are actually capturing license plates as
Okay.
cars drive by so they can help track vehicles that they are looking for people.
I like that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I like it. I like it. I mean, I guess it could get you in trouble if you're seen in a location where a crime goes down, you didn't do it. But
Right.
I mean,
Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
yeah, but
That's yeah.
I'm okay. I'm innocent.
more.
All right, let's see what else we
Let's
got.
check out the glove box.
Oh, the glove box.
So,
Whoa.
before you say it, I probably have an ungodly amount of napkins. I hate when I receive napkins with
What?
whether it's fast food or we go
You
out
hate?
somewhere.
I
really
hate
seeing them go
getting
to
the
waste,
stack of
so
them. I don't like
I
them
have
going to
an
waste.
ungodly amount
So
of napkins.
when I
Yeah.
don't use them, they go in here.
Well, that's good.
Pepto, always a good thing to
Pepto,
have.
that's a good thing.
I've got a CPR mask in here, hot
Oh.
beverage holder,
I don't know how to.
straws, just in case we don't have our
Straws are
reusable
good.
ones, because
A
that's the day and age we're in.
Hold on, what's a CPR mask do?
So anyone who's been trained in CPR, it's a mask to put over the person. If you don't know them, you don't know if they're carrying anything, right?
Okay.
It's just a shield between you and the person you're
Gotcha.
giving mouth to mouth.
For
And you know CPR?
I've been certified. I actually have lapsed, so I wouldn't be using it
Okay.
unless it was like my wife or something. But yeah,
my
which I
wife,
probably
or
wouldn't need a
anyone
mask.
who's got long hair, I got
Yeah,
wire
take note of the
ties,
hair
I've got
ties.
a flashlight
ties,
that does
I
not
like.
need batteries. It's one of those ones that you shake or
Oh,
even twist.
that's a good idea. I want
Yeah.
one of those. That's a great idea.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
we got more.
those are
Don't worry,
good.
we got more.
So yeah, the hair ties, very timely. Like literally a day or two after we first talked about doing this
More
episode,
hand sanitizer.
the New York Times Wirecutter released an article about like the 7 or 10 things like people should have in their car. Hair ties was on the list, and I was like, oh my God. Like like the same brand I happen to have. I have short hair, but I've actually carried hair ties in my cars. I have so many friends who are female, and just over the years, like they've used them. I mean, they've been helpful, and they double as a rubber band. But so found that very ironic that New York Times is telling me I should have hair ties, and good for me, I already have them.
But what is because people don't have hair ties and they want to put their hair back?
Yeah, like if girls are notorious for losing them, breaking them, forgetting them. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I started
All
carrying
right.
them.
I would not have thought of that. And I don't have any hair, so
You have no
especially
use.
Sanitizer.
no use.
All right, let's
Here's the good
Although I don't carry a wallet. All of my credit cards are in
Digital?
a hair tie.
Oh, there you go.
So maybe that's something I should keep. It's like keeping a bunch of spare wallets.
check this guy out. So again, pandemic related disposable
Good.
masks. Again, how many
More
napkins
napkins,
one need,
good.
I don't know. These are not car keys. Tip of the day: do not put spare car keys in your car.
Don't keep your
These
car
are
keys in your
actually
car.
for padlocks or the luggage racks that I put on my truck.
Okay.
Here it is.
Here is
The glass
all the
breaker.
hammers we talked about the other day.
Wow.
This will help break the glass in an emergency. It's also got a built-in cutter for the seatbelt. That's
Wow.
always at the front. Makes it nice and easy. Backup corkscrew. Flashlight.
That was
Power inverter.
a dramatic
Plastic fork and
backup
spoons are in
corkscrew.
here.
There you go. This is a good one. Nobody has.
Extra bootlaces.
Wow, that's
Don't ask why I started carrying them, but
that's
they've come
great.
in handy. Not just for boots.
Wow. Well, that's ominous, but
Sunglass
sunglass.
They're good for tying stuff.
Wait,
you know?
holder, and another one that most people probably don't have, a roll of gaff tape. This is wrapped around a pencil. It's come in handy many, many times.
gaff tape.
These usually come in large rolls.
This is a life
I
tip
actually
right here,
carry this
folks.
with my suitcase as well.
Duct tape, gaff tape.
Was
roll
that
it up on a pencil?
but wait
make
a
your
minute, was
own
that
roll.
Sunglasses that were in there? Or just an
Sunglass
arm?
holder. It was the back, like
Oh,
for like
okay.
windy days and stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I didn't
What's
go
in the
through
back?
sunglasses, but they are there.
Okay.
We've got the theme here of
Wow.
cup holders. So this is
More
a
cup
flag.
holders.
I do drive a truck. A lot of times I have things hanging out the back. Suntan lotion. for the
Suntan
summer.
lotion is smart.
Hiding down here. Extra set of wiper blades.
Wow.
Usually have that for longer road trips. I keep lots of gloves, lots of work gloves in here, in case I gotta help people or people need help.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Me. This is actually left over from winter. I can take this out now. This is
I think we
isopropyl alcohol and
glazed
water.
over that life
It's,
tip.
pretty fantastic for melting ice quickly on your
Wow. Alcohol and
windshield. Jumper
water?
cables, first aid kit, and a tire inflator. Also hiding
Why have a tire inflator?
lint brushes, and that
Oh.
500-watt
Lint
bulb is
rollers.
actually for a work light that
Okay.
I travel with sometimes. Got the blanket for my wife. Got some
Good.
moving blankets, tie
Straps.
downs. This is actually a very small amount of tie downs.
I'm missing a lot in my
I've got
truck.
2 bins that are currently not in my car because I needed the space. Bags. I'm sure anyone living
Wait,
in a
is this is an SUV?
This is a pickup
truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a 4-door. I don't typically have passengers, so the back seats are always down. When I do have passengers, I can fold them up and throw some of the stuff in the bed of the truck.
Gotcha.
state
It's fun.
that does not
Yeah.
allow
These
plastic
shopping bags.
anymore. I was
Oh
used
my
to
God.
seeing
We all
Yeah,
have
I
too
know.
many
these
of
bags,
these.
and we probably all have hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Utility stuff, paper towels,
Paper towels is big.
miscellaneous tools, a lot of which I need for the racks on my car, tire pressure gauge.
Jeez.
I've even got a fly swatter hanging in here.
Oh
That's
my
for when we go
God.
camping.
Good for camping.
Those reflectors are triangles for when you got to pull over
That's
on
good.
the side of the road. I've got a nice big breaker bar.
This is one of those
I've got the
sand
soft sledge
sledges.
for helping get the tires off the truck when they're frozen to the truck.
Wow.
Frisbee, gloves, hand warmers over there, ponchos over there, fire extinguishers not meant for vehicle fires.
Well aware,
for
not rated for a vehicle.
when I go and do work, whether it's minor plumbing repairs or something else.
Okay.
And also hiding back here,
Good life
you
tip.
hopefully can tell that that's a tube. That is a roll of toilet paper, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
That is one of the best things that I keep, and it's in a plastic bag so it does not get all totally destroyed. There's also a roll of trash bags in here. They've come in handy more times
That's
than I
smart.
can tell you. I've also got plastic bags of multiple sizes. They are hiding
We keep
between these seats nice and tight.
3 size
They're there.
Ziplocs and some big clear trash bags.
That's
Wow.
probably the bulk of the stuff that's here most of the time. Like I said, there's a few things that are missing, a couple bins with straps. And what we didn't discuss, box of tissues.
Oh.
Ironically enough, sitting on top of 2 cup holders.
The additional 2
It's an
cup holders
ungodly
in the
amount of
front
cup
seat.
holders in this vehicle, but they've come in handy for a lot of different purposes.
Wow.
All right, so you
What's in
get
the bag?
the gist. Like that's essentially
Is that-
everything. There's a couple other videos, probably outtakes.
Alright,
Is
let's do
this
some
a
rapid
lot
fire.
of stuff? Is this like an obscene amount of things? Is it shocking? Do you have these things? What am I missing?
I have no. I don't have. I don't even have a box of tissues. I don't think.
Oh,
I've got nothing. But I don't go anywhere.
true.
I want to go through this. There's some stuff I would never use. There's some stuff that I think I never even thought of. There's a lot of good things. I'm gonna go through these and make a list of the things, like that flashlight that you shake is really good.
It's a good one.
Um,
You know, the worry about the batteries leaking. It's really nice.
I'm surprised you don't have batteries in there.
So batteries leak. I actually used to keep some batteries. In fact, there is another clip that when the seats come up in the back, I have what I call my Dexter kit.
Okay.
So anyone who's a fan of Dexter knows he's got a nice leather roll tied up. His tools are in there. His
Okay.
knives are in there.
Right.
I don't have knives, but I've
Yeah,
got
why not a
screwdrivers,
knife?
pliers, stuff like that. So
Okay.
I do in that back pocket where there's a lot of random stuff, tools. There's actually some straight blades in there.
Okay.
In the front door where the wire ties are, though there's a knife in there as well.
Okay.
But yeah, there is a lot of stuff. I mean, and I tried to break it down going through this afterwards because I know I have a lot of stuff, but I can't always like name it. So it was actually cool to like bring you in there and show you. But yeah, like utility, safety, convenience, and novelty. Those are like the the four main categories that I could
Right.
break these, and some kind of bridge, multiple.
So,
But what did you like? What were the things that you're taking note of here?
um, the toilet paper, I didn't see any Band-Aids though.
First, there was a first aid kit. Yep, there
Okay.
was a first aid kit,
All
and
right.
I used it a lot for band-aids. Actually, probably the number one
Okay.
thing out of there.
I don't think I'll ever use gaffer's tape, but I could be wrong about that.
And about duct tape, duct tape. No,
I, I was just shocked that you had the phone in a stand. That kind
that
of
threw you. That threw you.
I would that phone in the stand was the giant picture in my head for the entire rest of the presentation because I have CarPlay for several cars now.
Right. I
You've
don't.
got to
Yeah.
get
So my truck is a 2011. I feel like no
okay.
matter what car I buy next is likely gonna have
You'll
a
have it.
screen built
Yes.
in, and you're
Yes.
right. I will have no purpose for having a stand.
Um, I'm trying to think. I should have been taking notes because I forget. I have the memory of a gnat. Um, like the ties, I wouldn't use the ties because I'm not putting anything on the roof or anything. I have an SUV, but I've actually thought about getting a pickup because but I don't know. I think that would be unused capacity in the back there to just, I'm not moving anything. But I think I was surprised there were some things in there that I don't think I would ever use. And so I would like the hair ties. I was surprised that you would have an item that seemed like it wouldn't have like a utilitarian, like let the girl have her hair
think
down.
think rubber bands. Think rubber band. They are good
All
for
right.
putting stuff. Yep.
Okay. And that's better than having a rubber band in your hair. It's better. So it does work on both things. So, and I guess you do a lot of camping. Could you start? Oh, this is something that you don't have. This is something that I think you should consider. It's a
Hmm.
little pricey, but what about one of those GPS phones?
Like a sat phone, like a.
Yeah, that's right. I
I
was
mean,
kind of
hey,
shocked that it wasn't included. Um,
I haven't.
Especially if
I
you go
mean, maybe
hiking and
let's see.
camping.
Listen, if the eclipse on the 8th knocks things out, maybe I should have had it.
Right. If you go camping, if you go hiking,
Hmm.
I when I was looking for treasure, the forest fen treasure, I don't think my wife would have let me go to Montana to the
Without something like
woods of
that.
Montana. I would not have
Tony
been allowed
Montana.
to go to Montana without a GPS phone, I don't think. And I was gonna cross a river. So, so yeah, a waterproof satellite phone.
Maybe
But
with my camping gear. I like the idea, but probably better
so
suited for my camping gear.
the other thing that stinks that I want to keep in the car is some kind of charger for the phones and stuff.
Like
But you
the battery
can't.
bricks, but yeah, it's not a good
You
idea.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a good thing. They did have, and I don't know, I think Duracell had like a little mini charger that might have that, probably wouldn't have caused that much trouble if it exploded.
Mm.
But um I'm trying to think. The bags was a shocker that you would have so many different Ziploc bags.
That really stemmed from camping, waterproofing stuff,
Right.
leftovers, stuff like that.
But that's
And they just
great.
fit. So yeah, it's
Right.
it's a convenient, and having the truck, we have really, really big trash bags that if it starts to rain unexpectedly and everything's exposed, like we can pull over, and that's actually one of the best uses of those zip ties. We throw stuff in the bag, zip tie it closed, and
Right.
then strap it down.
Gotcha. I'm surprised you don't have a list of all this stuff. So how do you know when you've run out of something to
I'm
replace
pretty
it?
good at remembering, like, hey, I used the last one. My wife will attest to that.
Yeah.
What about nail clippers, tweezers? Like, did that is that shocking? Is that weird?
Um, no, I think that's important. once or twice clipped my nails in a parking lot because I was in a rush and was on the way there, and it would have been better. Um,
Like you get
what
a
about a
bag hand
razor?
nail,
What about a razor?
no razor.
A
I
razor
mean,
would be good.
yeah, like
Occasionally,
I feel
you
like
need a
my
razor.
first car, I may have kept my electric razor in my center console. I was commuting back and forth to Atlantic City.
Okay.
And I do remember buzzing in the car. So
While you were driving?
yeah,
Yeah, we don't promote that kind of stuff.
we're not.
We
No,
don't
no.
promote
I was
that.
young. I was young and stupid. Let's be
All
honest
right,
here.
we
I
don't
was young and
promote that kind of
stupid.
behavior.
Uh,
Yeah, all right, okay. Because it's hard for me because I don't go anywhere. I don't go
so you
anywhere,
don't. Yeah, you don't have need for a lot of these.
but I'm thinking like, what if you're stuck in you don't you don't have a Gatorade bottle to
I
pee
yeah.
in.
I don't have the
You
big
need
man bottle.
you
Yeah,
need some place to pee.
that's a
That's
good one.
important.
Maybe when I'm older, I'll have a problem. Don't really have that problem right
No, but
now.
this is the thing. One time I got stuck. I was going to Boston. I got stuck in traffic in like New York and I was stuck. There was no place to go. I was in
Yeah,
traffic and
it's easy
uh,
enough to put under the seat. It's a good idea. I used to do it with one of my work trucks.
yeah.
We used to have
So,
big 1 liter bottles that we actually
right.
collected
And
samples in, so it was great.
right. Now I don't go anywhere. Like I don't but that's a good thing to have. It's something that
I like it.
I
It's a
want to
good
go
one.
through and make a list. I'm trying to think what else. Um, you have sunglasses in there?
Yep, I didn't show them, but yep, of course, got sunglasses. They're actually up top.
Okay. Trying to think what
The
else because I
power
have
inverter. Power inverter is a good one.
what
You
is
can
that?
charge. So that's you can use like your laptop if you have the proper size, but you plug that into the cigarette lighter and it converts.
Oh,
So you can plug in a regular
I've
plug.
done that. I'm afraid of blowing the battery out with that. I don't trust that.
Yeah, you got to know your numbers. I actually since we've taken a few longer road trips in the last few years, we actually now have a battery brick. It's like a mini power station
Right.
that we port with us.
Hmm.
Been a godsend. Now that
Right.
most of us are working remote, I can actually sit in the passenger seat, let my wife drive, power my laptop, power my cell phones that are the hot spot, and I'm working
Right.
from the road. It's
Right. And I like
pretty
that. I
nice.
do like that. We're getting a generator soon, so hopefully that won't be a an issue.
Nice.
Uh, but yeah, to be mobile like that and to have that power because when the power goes out, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Um, our neighbor just sold their house and Thursday night the generator's on and this generator is full house generator and you
Mm,
can hear it from
nice.
4 blocks away. But it was on and sometimes there's a test it'll go on for like 10 minutes and then go off
Right,
I
it's
think
a
like
pretty
once a
quick
week.
cycle, yeah.
This was on for hours and then it was time to put my daughter to bed and I go outside and I know they moved out, the moving trucks were gone and we realized they probably turned the
The power
electricity
off to the
off
house. Oh my God.
and I'm like, oh, and it's so loud you can hear it and it's like having in window air conditioners. That's that
Yes,
kind of loud.
right, especially when it's the only thing going at night, right? If other people, right, if the power out in the neighborhood and everyone has it, it's just like the normal hum. But yeah, when it's the only one, man.
Just imagine a guy like me who's tried his best to eliminate extra noise like this. I'm sitting there and I'm fuming. I'm like, and I don't know their number. I have no, and they said they were moving to Florida. So I go out, they have the sign up. I call the realtor and I'm like ranting. I'm like, listen, my daughter's trying to go to sleep. It's so loud, blah, blah, blah. And, can you just, I need to get in touch with them. And the girl goes, she's like, I'm just the answering service. Can you just what's your name and your number? And I'm like,
They'll call you
oh
tomorrow.
yeah, they'll call me tomorrow. So I to make a long story short, I did some internet detective work and I got a phone number and I called the
Oh,
phone
okay.
number and I said, listen, uh, are you so and so? Do you live at, did you live at, yes. And I said, I'm your neighbor. Because I knew them. I mean, we talked, well, yeah, I didn't know them well, but I said, your generator's on. Is there anything you could do to turn it off? Maybe. Because I know there's an app that you
Sometimes,
can
yeah, yeah.
use. And she goes, oh, we never set the app up. I'm like, oh, man. So the husband gets on the phone and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. And is the electricity off in the street? No, no, no." So I know, and I know this is because when you get a new house, you close out your account and
That's it.
then
You transfer everything over.
yeah, no, you don't transfer. You close it out and a new account is open because you can't just you're not going to just
Well, right, right,
transfer.
right, right. So
Yeah,
yeah, bad word, but yes, the
yeah.
ownership is changing. So yeah, they close it
So
out and
they
reopen.
shut it down, and as soon as they shut it down, the generator
Of
kicks in
course,
because the
that's it.
generator doesn't know any
Doing it's
better.
doing its job. It doesn't know any better.
Right. But that's a lot of gas. Well, I guess not because they weren't using anything. It was just some lights outside. So finally the guy came over and I guess there's a key you can manually turn it off. And I was so happy. I really thought that generator was going to be on for days. Because I have no idea when the new people were going to come in. And I was like, how am I going to get in touch with, like, I was living out the worst case scenario. Um,
All right.
so
So
anyway,
be
but
prepared and make sure you don't leave things when you move. Right.
right.
Be
Think
prepared.
about,
Do it
yeah, you have to
right.
think about what happens when the electricity goes off. But the other thing, that brick that you have, is it solar? How how much charge does it have? Is it solar powered?
So it is able to do. I know this because we've done many trips now. I can do my laptop 3 full charges while also charging a phone.
Wow.
Um, and I do have a portable 3 panel solar panel. I think it's like 8 hours if you're not drawing any energy off of it and you've got good
Okay.
sun. So
And
it's not bad.
so you plug your laptop into this while you
When it's
could,
yeah, once it's down, like I try to wear the laptop down and then yeah, when I need to plug it in, I plug it in, I turn the brick on and
and you
I
can
let
work
it
or you
charge
can
up.
just let it charge.
Yeah,
You can
I
work while
work.
it's plugged in, yeah.
I keep working, yeah.
And you can have a phone plugged in at the same time.
Yeah, this thing's got 2 regular ports, it's got a couple USB ports, and then it's actually got a wireless, bed on the top. It's
I
pretty
love
sweet.
that. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's a
cool.
good one. It's my second one. The first one I had only lasted one trip. I only had USBs and 2 outlets. It was good, then
Blowout?
something shorted,
No.
and, I still have it thinking, maybe one day I'll open it up and see if, like, a wire lead, just broke off or something, but
Right.
I have not been able to troubleshoot, so I did have to break down and buy a second one. So,
So is there anything that you wish you had in the car that you don't have?
ooh, uh, that's tough because I feel like stuff I am missing, and missing. I probably bring on specific trips.
Okay.
Um,
I'd like to see,
that from a maybe one now on hiking and camping.
I,
That may make the
yeah,
list.
I would like to see a list of what you got.
Yeah, so I've summarized it. We can throw it in the notes.
Okay.
Like I said, I tried to break it down 4 main categories, a
Okay.
couple subcategories like tools. Ended up being a lot of stuff individually.
Okay.
But yeah, I can absolutely share this list.
I'm trying
Give
to
me your
think.
thoughts. I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear what people think
I'm
if I'm
tr
nuts or totally unprepared.
I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I can't think of anything. I can't think of many holes that you have in that. What about food? Do you have food?
No, because with we live in Jersey, right? So like water bottles and food, like heat, cold, like then you have to remember about it. I'd
Yeah,
rather just bring it with me. If I go hiking, we
as
pack it in the
needed.
hiking bag. If we're going
Okay.
camping, we obviously have coolers. So yeah,
Um,
nothing emergency wise food
okay.
full time anyway.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Well, I don't know that you would keep this in the car, but maybe for the hiking bag. I just saw Facebook apparently knows that I'm doing disaster prep. There's a there's a package you can get that has like medicine, like antibiotics and
Oh,
Like,
interesting. So
yeah.
man, we could go through my hiking pack, but I don't want to keep you all night. But yeah, I mean, I've got a tourniquet in my hiking pack.
What's your water
Um,
filtration system look like?
we've got life straws for camping. I don't bring it hiking. We
All
tend to
right.
just bring water bottles. I used to use the bladders. I got sick of washing them and cleaning them, so we
But
just do
what,
bottles
but do you have a method for taking water and
from a
purifying it?
stream. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's the life straw is like
Okay.
a built-in filter, so you can either like drink right from something or
Okay.
it goes in, like you fill a bottle and it goes in and you kind of suck it through and it filters out.
Okay.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I would like to see because I gotta I want to build up my you might as well throw a tent in there.
When we
I
go
mean,
camping, I actually have a tent that goes in the bed of the truck. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, not full time. Some of these things take up a lot of
you
space.
never know.
I
You
gotta
never
still use
know.
the truck.
You never know when you get stuck. There could be an earthquake and you're stuck out on the you never know. Um I guess you can't really keep extra gas.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, listen, there are people, right? You see some
well
people
you
driving
could
around with racks outside. It's
and
a little much for how much
you
I
could in
travel.
the pickup part of it.
Yeah, in the bed of the truck.
And
It's
that's
one more
what is
thing I
in
got
the
to
bed
worry
of the
about.
truck. Is there anything in there that's used
I
for
keep
anything?
a wheel chock if I got to change the tire. And there's a
Okay.
couple cargo nets. There's actually compartments over the wheel wells. So I
Okay.
got to keep some bungee cargo nets in there. Uh,
Okay. All
and then I've
right.
got racks too that I sometimes we put a toolie box up top. Again, longer trips. I don't like having that stuff filled up when I'm just driving around.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll put the list in there.
Yeah, I would like to I would
Tear it up.
yeah. Well, no, I mean I think that here's the thing. When you do this, it's going to evolve. It's going to grow. It's going to change. There's going to be things that you're going to think about, or you're going to be in a situation that you hadn't been in before.
Hmm.
Or somebody else will be in a situation and say, hey, it would have been great if I had this, or um, so I do. I mean, I like it. I like it. I like the other thing that I want to get is cellular, um, a cellular like a hotspot.
So our phones, we have T-Mobile. Our phones are good at being hotspots, but we actually have a deal. Man, T-Mobile, I could talk about them all day too. Good and bad, but they've had so many good deals over the years where we actually have two additional phone lines with
Okay.
phones that are free. We literally just use those for hotspots, so we're not
Okay.
draining the battery on our main lines.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, my
and
phone is a hotspot.
independent, which is even better. So it's like
Right.
it serves the purpose of what you're looking for and
Right.
is so cheap because it's included.
Right. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Just using a phone.
Yeah, as long as you
That's
got spare
interesting.
power for the phone, it's
Just use a phone, an extra phone for a hotspot.
yeah.
That's interesting.
5G is getting better and better, man. With remote working, that's what I said.
Yep.
As long as I've got cell service, I can figure out how to.
Right. Right. Well, that's the thing. Once we get the generator, I'll probably want to get some kind of backup for the Wi-Fi if the Wi-Fi goes out.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's a
good.
pretty good idea because I think I can probably get a uh, uh, another line for at least cheaper.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They do data only on most of these on most of the big three. What are we up to? Three? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So, all right. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, listen, the bottom line is you're you are beholden to it's unethical not to prepare yourself for things. You can't just
The best you
assume
can. The best you
the
can. We can
best you
never
can.
always be prepared for everything.
Right. But it's part of your job to as you're living to take precautions. I was not ready for an earthquake. all I can do is run out of the house. That's
Hey,
my that's my plan. So, but what else can you do to and again, you're right. I'm not trying to be, I'm not a prepper. I'm not, but I think there's things that people just don't even think about.
mhm.
Right? Like, and it's okay to start small. Like nobody's gonna have their car loaded tomorrow. They're not gonna
Right.
go from unloaded to what you've got. And that built up over years.
Oh, years, years,
Yeah.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Do we use the change at all? No.
Rarely anymore. Like there's really
Right.
not that much in there anymore. I
Yeah.
decided to keep some coins for like if we go somewhere and they've got a penny machine, which most of them now take credit cards.
Right.
It used to keep
Right.
a film bottle. That's how old this
Okay.
thing is. A film bottle filled with quarters for like vending machines at
That's
hotels, but
that's actually nice, but they all take credit
they
cards.
all
Yeah.
take credit cards now.
I know. That's actually pretty nice. Get rid of this.
Yeah.
That's I never thought about that. That's good. Um, dollar bills. What about cash? You keep cash in there?
There's some hidden cash in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
All
keep a
right.
lot, but it's like, oh
Right.
crap, we're out somewhere and like none of us have cash and it's like cash only. Like, yeah, we've got
Right.
a
Or
couple
you
bucks in there, nothing crazy.
right. Or you got to tip the valet or some
Right,
parking or
exactly. Like,
something and you don't have cash. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Not that I'm valeting the car that often, but that's what happens. I'm always like, oh God, I don't have any cash, or getting the car washed. I don't have any cash.
Most of these guys may be like, here's my Venmo code.
Right. I
I
know. I
mean, like
know. I
this day and age, everyone's ready to accept money somehow.
I know. I know. I think some guys took hauled our stuff away like junk and I
Yeah.
Venmoed them a tip. Um so yeah, that is a good point, but still it's a little weird. Um because you kind of want to give them the money and get the hell out of there. You Venmo them now. I gotta look them eye to eye, and they know how much I'm giving them. Not that listen. I would be richer than Elon Musk if it weren't for tipping and DoorDash, but still, I don't want to be pressured into giving somebody more than they
Oh
deserve.
my God,
You
we
know?
could talk all night about tips. Let's not do that
Yeah,
one on this episode. But yeah, that's a hot topic.
yeah. I mean, most people are. I don't know. I'm a good tipper. But you know what the thing is? Everybody thinks they're a good tipper.
I was just gonna say I feel like you need to define that, but again, this is a
Mm,
rabbit hole that's
uh,
we don't
l-
have time for today.
Listen, if I get bad service, I'm giving them 20%. If I'm feeling stingy, they get 20%. Nothing ever less than 20%. And sometimes it gets ridiculous. Like, do you tip when you go to pick up food?
I was just gonna ask you, you're doing 20% on takeout?
No, I don't do 20% on takeout, but I'm still leaving a tip.
Oh
They're not
yeah.
even doing anything.
No, that's not true. It's
A
not
lot of times
nothing,
they're not. I
but
know when they're doing something and when they're not. And a lot of times when you go to pick up a pizza, the pizza's sitting there on the. You don't have to tip the guy, but I tip him. I always tip. So, but like I said, I'd be a millionaire by now.
oh my God, we need to come up with all the different scenarios. I'd love to go through tips one night.
Yeah, I think it's important. But
People will have their own opinions. And I love hearing everyone, because
oh
it's great.
yeah,
You can defend it one way or the other. And I'm usually like, you're right. You're right. Like
uh,
this is where I was sitting though, right in the middle.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I worked in a restaurant for a long time, so I have a soft spot.
That's
But
right. You've experienced it even though it was pre-pandemic time, right? I think there's a
well, it was
very solid line
pre-pandemic.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, we were making $2 an hour because you could not like you're getting no money from
Yep.
the restaurant and then you're living on what people are giving you.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's tough. But I guess you're in that situation, so I guess you accept that situation. It's just a
That's some people's
weird thing.
argument. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there's people that, oh, well, minus the tax. Come on. Are you kidding me?
You
Serious?
you tip pre-tax. That's the rule.
Come on. Come on. That's not the rule. I've never done that rule. I don't know. Trust me. And I know people that do that rule, and I don't agree with it. I think
Unless
it's,
you've got a, $1,000 bill, it's not changing much.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But
Do some rounding, guys. Do some
yeah.
rounding.
All right. All right. Well, listen, that's it. Be prepared. You never know what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, and if something happens that is unexpected, it's probably aliens.
Ancient ones coming
Really,
back.
really, really old ones.
Yep. So
They're
listen, I wanna hear all about the madness once the eclipse happens, and
uh, you won't hear
I
any
I
madness from me. I'm
no,
not
no, you'll have stories. You will. You
I
you you will not be the subject matter, but I
I
know you're gonna have stories.
I am not going anywhere. I will be checking my 23andMe to see what aliens I'm related to. That's what I'll be doing. I have no desire. I'm not going out. I'm not wearing glasses. I'm not even going to look at it on. I don't care. You get to see who the sheep are in society when something like this happens and they all flock. It's like a bright light. It's like moths to a bright light. It's
Hmm.
really, really sad.
They've
So,
prepared like no other for this, and I say that meaning they is everyone. Like there are signs on the highways that are now saying like no stopping or parking along highways during eclipse.
right.
My company sent out a safety email. I've seen schools sending stuff home about children, schools closing. So like this is
Yep.
this is madness. Like there's been enough warning people. Don't look at the damn
Just
sun.
don't look at the sun. I mean, there's
Please,
don't look
please.
at the sun. There's nothing to see. It's not that exciting, honestly. But whatever. There's gonna be people. I'm gonna find the article of the guy who burnt his eyes out. Let that be
I
a warning
share
to
it.
people. And I wouldn't look at it for a split second. When I tell you my eyes hurt, they hurt for a couple of days afterwards. It's
Mm,
not worth it. It's really not worth it. You get one set of eyes.
hmm.
Um, and you can't even use your phone to take a picture of it without some protection.
Shouldn't.
So
Yeah, you
it'll
shouldn't.
hurt your phone too.
Yeah. Let everyone else do it and check it all out on social media. It's safe to look at
Right.
that in.
Well, I'm gonna get a new phone anyway, so maybe this will just be
Oh,
my
maybe there
hotspot.
you go. Maybe
It'll
you
be
could
my
look at it.
it'll be my hotspot phone. So, all right. Well,
Cool.
listen. I hope your alien may all your aliens be ancient and don't look at the sun. Don't ever look at the sun, regardless of what's going on. And make sure you've got an earthquake preparedness kit. You never know if it hits New Jersey, it could hit anywhere else. And and I hope you consider sitting out this eclipse like I am. And please let us know what you think of BriBo's car survival stuff. I'm gonna put a list there. I will make some notes I'm gonna write up a more in-depth analysis and send to you once I see this list.
Cool.
Um, so
Let's
all
do it.
right. Thanks everybody. Be well. Till next time.
Have
Goodbye.
a good week.